So a potential tenant keeps contacting our company trying to pay her rent up front for an entire year. We're talking like maybe, I think it's like $25,000 is what she's trying to pay up front. I'm not sure if she applied and was turned down, or we're just very clear with our property management company about what our criteria would be before you try to rent one of our properties. We just want to be very upfront and very clear so someone doesn't waste their time applying for a property they probably don't have a chance of getting into. So she's not understanding, and I understand why she doesn't understand this, but we won't accept her as a tenant. We would if she does apply and she actually gets approved. But whether or not if she is denied, we're not going to value the fact that she's willing to pay this $25,000 up front. And here's the reasons why. It's multifold for us. For one, we've never had a tenant that has caused more damage to a property than the security deposit has covered of the tenants we've screened. So we've had many tenants that have absolutely destroyed properties, tens of thousands of dollars. Often owners will come to my property management company with a tenant in place. But not once of the tenants that we have screened, our company, Grow Property Management, has screened, have we ever had a tenant that has caused more damage than security deposit covered? Why? Because our screening is so effective that what we're doing is we're just not interested in whether or not a tenant is going to be financially responsible for the property. We want them to be responsible for the property. We want to make sure that a person that we put into that property is going to take care of the property the way you or I would take care of the property. And again, I have just seen on several occasions when owners come to us with a tenant already in place, that the tenants will absolutely positively destroy the property, and the security deposit can't cover it. That means the owner has to go into their pocket. Sure, you can legally try to go after the tenant, but is it worth your time and energy going to court for a couple $1,000s? And what's your chances of being successful? It's just going to be a very difficult thing to do. So that's the main reason why we actually don't. It's not of value whether or not you're going to pay your rent up front or not. So we're just not, basically screening for financial responsibility. And that very much is a component. If someone's not willing to pay their credit card bills on time, they're certainly not going to be willing to pay their rent on time. But additionally, there's several other reasons why we want to see this as a value. One, it would be a logistic nightmare. So we would actually have to track this money and keep track of this money for an entire year. And, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not qualified to give you this advice, but my opinion is also you would be paying tax on any money you collect up front. So that would be all taxable money that you'd be paying tax on immediately as soon as you actually take these funds. The other thing is that there's chargebacks. So a tenant can actually pay this rent up front and use a credit card to do so. And the problem is at any point, including, through the year, the very last day of the year, they could actually contact their credit card company and say, hey, this isn't a fair charge. I want to do a chargeback. And it's very likely the credit card company is going to accept this as a chargeback. So they're going to lobby on behalf of the tenant. They're going to take that money back from you. Now it's going to be on you to fight the credit card company to try to get the money. And, to be honest, it's not going to be a fight you're going to win. So I've heard of property management companies and property managers, having to fight, to get these monies and just losing. Possession is 9/10 of the law. When we physically have the money, that's great. We can make certain decisions that we know are right. But if once that money is taken away, somebody else is making a decision and they have no invested interest in assisting you. They only have an invested interest in helping a consumer. So it's probably not going to be a battle you're going to win. So I can understand why a property owner would think it makes sense that they're covered by taking this rent up front. It's probably not going to be the coverage you think it is. And, my company, my property management company, we're just not going to value that. All right. As usual, happy real estate investing and good luck.